Good afternoon. This is Akashvani and I am Abhishek Mukhopadhyay with the Midday News. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi meets with CEOs of Australian companies and prominent public figures of Australia and Sydney to also attend a community event. G20's Tourism Working Group endorses 5 priority points including green tourism, digitalization and destination management at Srinagar meeting. Window opens for exchanging 2,000 rupee note in banks. Kabaddi competitions in Khelo India University Games to begin in Uttar Pradesh from today. And Neeraj Chopra becomes world number 1 in men's javelin throw rankings. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today met with the prominent public figures of Australia working in the fields of science, artificial intelligence, humanities, social work, gastronomy, art and music in Sydney. MES spokesperson Arindam Bakshi in a tweet said, the meeting with public figures will help in furthering the culture and people-to-people ties between the two countries. Prime Minister Modi met with Professor Brian P. Schmidt, Nobel laureate in physics, Associate Professor Salvatore Baybons, Professor Toby Walsh, Chief Scientist at Artificial Intelligence Institute, University of New South Wales, Sarah Todd, International Chief and Entrepreneur, Daniel Mate Sullivan, Aboriginal Artist, Mark Bala, Business Specialist, and Australian singer Guy Theodore Sebastian. Mr. Modi also congratulated them on their achievements and encouraged them to contribute to strengthening India-Australia relationship. Earlier today, the Prime Minister met with the CEOs of Australian companies. First, Mr. Modi met with Dr. Andrew Forrest, Executive Chairman and founder of Fortescue Metals Group and Fortescue Future Industries. MES spokesperson Arindam Bakshi in a tweet said that PM Modi and Dr. Andrew Forrest discussed opportunities for Indian companies to partner with Fortescue in the renewable energy sector, particularly under India's green hydrogen mission. After the meeting, Dr. Andrew Forrest said, fossil fuel sector has only limited time to run and it must be replaced with a fuel which causes no harm. That is something PM Modi said. He is clearly a global champion.
Acknowledged together that the fossil fuel sector has only limited time to run and it must be replaced with a fuel which causes no harm but can do everything which coal, oil and gas can do. That is something the Prime Minister is clearly a global champion on, and I've invited the Prime Minister to be, if you like, the global government partner. I'll be the global industry partner to promote green hydrogen across the world.
Mr. Modi also held a conversation with Paul Scrodder, Chief Executive Australian Super. During the discussion, PM Modi pitched India among the top investment destinations in the world. He also invited Australian Super to partner in India's growth story. Mr. Scrodder said that the meeting with Prime Minister Modi was very impressive. He added that Mr. Modi is a very impressive person who understands business and is very encouraging. In his third meeting, Prime Minister met with Georgina Hope Reinhardt, AO, Executive Chairman of Hancock Prospecting Group, Roy Hill and S. Kidman and Company. PM Modi and Georgina Hope Reinhardt both discussed on how to foster collaboration in the mining and mineral sector. The Prime Minister also invited her to partner with Indian technology, investment and skilling in the mining and mineral sector. Talking to reporters, Georgina Hope Reinhardt appreciated the efforts of PM Narendra Modi for huge economic growth. She said India will grow immensely in the next 25 years and Australia will have to work very hard to catch up with India. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is now attending a community event celebrating the country's dynamic, diverse Indian diaspora. Prime Minister reached Sydney last night on the last leg of his 3-nation tour. He will hold a bilateral meeting with Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese. Briefing media about the visit yesterday, Foreign Secretary Vinay Mohan Kwatra said the Australian Prime Minister will also host a dinner for Mr. Modi. He said the Prime Minister will call on Governor General David Hurley. In Jammu and Kashmir, the third Tourism Working Group meeting of G20 was formally inaugurated today. Union Minister for Tourism and Culture G. Kishan Reddy, Minister of State in the PMO Dr. Jitendra Singh, Lieutenant Governor of J&K Manoj Sinha, Minister of State for Tourism and Culture Ajay Bhatt, G20 Sherpa Amitabh Kant and others were present on the occasion. Mr. Reddy said in his address that the government is committed to working with all G20 countries and other stakeholders to promote sustainable growth of tourism sector.
The tourism working group meetings gives me confidence in the positive and meaningful direction that the working group is taking. The ideas will aid in developing tourism in mission mode in the globe. The summit will witness the going through agenda of the third tourism working group meetings. I am happy to see that the tourism working group is progressing in the right direction.
Welcoming the delegates, LG Manoj Sinha said that for the past 30 years, J&K suffered from terrorism. However, the Narendra Modi-led government has demolished and isolated the terror ecosystem. He further said that the thriving tourism in J&K is also a reflection of multi-religious and multicultural ethos of India.
Friends, for almost 30 years, this land of peaceful coexistence of almost all religious sects had to suffer state-sponsored terrorism by our neighboring country. However, Honorable Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi ji, through development schemes that empowers masses and union territories effective administration, isolated the terror ecosystem, which thrived with the support from across the border. Jammu Kashmir is witnessing a new era that has opened limitless possibilities of growth and peace.
Dr. Jitendra Singh in his speech said that apart from traditional forms of tourism, Kashmir has a huge potential in science and agri-tourism. He said Prime Minister Narendra Modi-led government at the centre has been focusing on aiding J&K on all fronts to develop the UT as the best tourist destination. In Jammu and Kashmir's Secretary in the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, Apurva Chandra today highlighted the role of Film Facilitation Office, FFO, of the ministry. He made a presentation at the side event promoting Incredible India through film tourism of the third G20 Tourism Working Group meeting in Srinagar. The Secretary said that the FFO provides an enabling environment for filming in India. He said the office is a proactive ecosystem of nodal officers across 36 states and union territories of India. Mr. Chandra said the Ministry of I&B provides several incentives for foreign production and official co-production. The second meeting of the G20 Disaster Risk Reduction Working Group, DRRWG, began in Mumbai today. The meeting aims to mitigate the impact of disasters on vulnerable communities by identifying opportunities and examining creative financing mechanisms. The three-day meeting will be attended by government officials, industry experts, private sector representatives, and stakeholders from over 20 countries. More from a correspondent.
The National Disaster Management Authority, in collaboration with various knowledge partners, has organized a day-long side event titled Financing Disaster Risk Reduction at the margins of the second DRR Working Group meeting today. The overall objective of the side event will be to deliberate on cross-country arrangements related to disaster risk financing, the existing policy and institutional frameworks, arrangements for alternative risk instruments and public-private partnerships, and the role of social protection system in reducing the impact of disasters on the most vulnerable population groups. Prarthana, Akashvani News, Mumbai.
Union Minister of State for Commerce and Industries Som Prakash expressed hope that the second meeting of Trade and Investment Working Group will work towards breaking barriers in international trade for a better future and shared prosperity. Addressing a seminar on technology and trade organized on the sidelines of 3 days G20 Working Group meeting in Bangalore, the minister said that the industry representatives, academia, R&D organizations and government officials will work together to overcome barriers and challenges in global trade. This is Akashvani giving you the news. For quick news updates around the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts. Banks across the country have started accepting 2,000 rupee notes for exchange from today. In a circular issued yesterday, the Reserve Bank of India directed banks to maintain data on a daily basis on the amount of 2,000 rupee notes exchanged and the amount that has been deposited into accounts. The RBI said that the facility of exchange of 2,000 rupees bank notes across the counter shall be provided to the public in the usual manner. The RBI had announced to withdraw the 2,000 rupee note from circulation on 19th May. 2,000 rupee notes were issued in 2016 after the central government announced the demonetization of old 500 rupee and 1,000 rupee currency notes. The newly elected MLAs of Karnataka Legislative Assembly continue to take oath as the members of the lower house today. The oath-taking process of all 224 members has been going on since yesterday. Before adjourning the House today, the pro tem Speaker R.V. Deshpande asked the remaining members to take oath today in his chamber so that they can participate in the Speaker election tomorrow, the last day of the special session. As the Narendra Modi government is completing 9 years in office this month, Akashvani News brings a series of special stories on the initiatives taken by the government. Today, we will take a look at how the famous holy pilgrimage Somnath Temple has got various new infrastructure facilities under the leadership of PM Modi that established the temple as a symbol of spirituality and modernity. I report.
Under the leadership of PM Narendra Modi, who is also chairman of Somnath Temple Trust, the famous Somnath Temple in Gujarat, which is a symbol of Indian spirituality, is being renovated with multiple developmental projects. Talking to AIR, General Manager of Somnath Temple Trust, Vijay Singh Chawda, said, under Union Government's Pilgrimage Rejuvenation and Spiritual Augmentation Drive, that is Prasad scheme, 4 major facilities have been developed at the temple premises.
भारत सरकार की प्रसाद योजना के अंतर्गत 4 अलग-अलग बड़े प्रोजेक्ट किए गए, जिसमें प्रोमोनेड वॉकवे, टूरिस्ट फैसिलिटी सेंटर जिसमें यात्रियों के लिए सुविधा की गई है, बड़ा पार्किंग जहां 2000 से ज्यादा व्हीकल पार्क हो सके ऐसी व्यवस्था, और वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट शेड, मंदिर और अतिथि गृह भोजनालय जहां से जो भी वेस्ट मिलता है वो वेस्ट को इकट्ठा करके उसमें से खत बनाने का काम भी सोमनाथ ट्रस्ट कर रहा है। वाटर हार्वेस्टिंग का काम भी ट्रस्ट के द्वारा हुआ है। यात्री सुविधा बढ़ने से स्थानिक रोजगारी में भी वृद्धि हुई है।
विद राजेश भजगोतर फ्रॉम गिर सोमनाथ, अपर्णा खुन, आकाशवाणी न्यूज, अहमदाबाद।
The Martyrdom Day of Sri Guru Arjan Dev Ji been observed today all over the country. The day is observed to commemorate the martyrdom of Guru Arjan Dev Ji, the 5th Guru of Sikhism. The event holds historical and religious significance for Sikhs around the world. In Punjab, the Gurbani Kirtan has been performed on the Gurdwaras. The devotees in large numbers are visiting Gurdwaras commemorating the sacrifice of Guruji for the sake of faith. Third Khelo India University Games will start with the Kabaddi event this evening in Gautam Buddha Nagar district in Uttar Pradesh. Today, the league matches of Kabaddi event will be held from 4 p.m. onwards in the evening. 15 teams of different universities are taking part in this event, for which the matches will be held at Shahid Vijay Singh Pathik Stadium in Gautam Buddha Nagar district. The official inauguration ceremony will be held on the 25th of May in Lucknow, in which the Prime Minister Narendra Modi will also take part virtually. Union Sports Minister Anurag Singh Thakur, along with Chief Minister of the State Yogi Adityanath, will take part in the inaugural function. India's Tokyo Olympics gold medalist Neeraj Chopra has created history by reaching the top of the latest men's javelin throw. He is the new world number 1 in the rankings issued by the World Athletics. Chopra was leading the ranking with 1,455 points, 22 points ahead of Grena Anderson Peters. Chopra had been at the number 2 position since August 30, 2022, but overtook Peters, the reigning world champion, this week. In IPL cricket, defending champions Gujarat Titans are all set to face Chennai Super Kings in the first qualifier at the M.A. Chidambaram Stadium in Chennai today. The match will begin at 7:30 p.m. Tomorrow, Mumbai Indians will lock horns with Lucknow Super Giants in the eliminator. The Union Public Service Commission today announced the result of the Civil Services Examination 2022. Ishita Kishore has emerged as the topper in the examination, while Garima Lohia secured the second rank. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi meets with CEOs of Australian companies and prominent public figures of Australia in Sydney, attends a community event with his Australian counterpart Anthony Albanese. G20's Tourism Working Group endorses 5 priority points including green tourism, digitalization and destination management at Srinagar meeting. Window opens for exchanging 2,000 rupee note in banks. Kabaddi competitions in the Khelo India University Games to begin in Uttar Pradesh from today. And Neeraj Chopra becomes world number 1 in the men's javelin throw rankings. And for details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.gov.in and News on AIR app. And with that, we end the Midday News.